When was the last time you asked yourself this question, is Allah Almighty pleased with me? Not your family, not your friends, not your boss, not the people watching your stories or liking your posts, but Allah Almighty. When was the last time that was your concern? We live in a world that constantly tells us to prove ourselves, to show our worth, to impress people who often do not even remember our names in their prayers. We lose sleep over what others think. We rehearse our words. We shrink. Our truth, we dress ourselves in expectations that do not even belong to us, or for a fleeting compliment, for temporary acceptance, for a place in a heart that may never truly love us. My dear brothers and sisters, this is not the life that Allah Almighty created you for. You were not made to chase the approval of creation. You were made to walk with dignity under the gaze of the Creator, and until you redirect your heart back to Him, you will always feel like you are not enough. You will always question your worth because the world's approval is never steady. Today they love you, tomorrow they don't. But Allah Almighty never changes. His mercy is constant. His love is pure. His knowledge is complete. He sees what no one sees. He hears the whispers of your pain, and He knows the sincerity behind every tear you cry alone. You can spend your entire life trying to please people who will never be pleased. You can give them your time, your energy, even your soul, and still they may misunderstand you. Still they may turn away from you. But Allah Almighty, when you turn to Him even once with sincerity, He never turns away. When you walk toward Him, He runs toward you. When the whole world ignores your efforts, He rewards them. When no one sees the weight you carry, He records it all. You will never be unseen by Him. So why then do we keep sacrificing our peace just to be accepted by people? Why do we say yes when our hearts are screaming no? Why do we remain silent in moments when the truth needs a voice? Why do we live like this? The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, told us something powerful. He said, "Whoever seeks the pleasure of people by displeasing Allah will have the people turn against him." Reflect on that. Even the people whose acceptance you chase will eventually turn away from you. Because when you lose Allah, you lose everything. And when you hold on to Him, He gives you everything you need. It is time to ask yourself, whose approval?
Are you really living for whose praise excites you more? The praise of people who may never be satisfied, or the praise of your Lord, who created you with love and purpose? This world will constantly test your sense of worth. It will make you believe
that you are only valuable if others say you are, but your value was written by Allah Almighty. Long before anyone else had an opinion about you, you are valuable because He chose you to exist. You are worthy because He fashioned you with care, and you are enough when you are sincere with Him, even if you are rejected by the whole world. So today I ask you to pause, to look into your heart, and ask, am I living for people who cannot benefit me in the grave? Am I shaping my life around voices that will not be there when I stand alone before my Lord? What use is all the praise in this world if it comes at the cost of my hereafter? Is not Allah sufficient for His servant? That is what He asks in the Quran, and the answer is yes, 1,000 times yes. Allah Almighty is enough for you. He is more than enough. Your peace will not come from the opinions of others. It will come from your connection with the One who sees your truth, knows your pain, and never tires of you returning to Him. It is time to let go of this endless race for validation and walk back toward sincerity, toward obedience, toward peace. Let your aim no longer be to be seen by people. Let it be to be known by Allah, because the moment you start living for His approval, everything begins to change. Not because life becomes easier, but because your heart becomes lighter. You stop pretending, you stop performing, and you start living with purpose, with truth, with freedom. And that, my beloved, is the beginning of real peace, the kind of peace the world can never give you and the kind it can never take away. How long will you exhaust your soul for people who would never cry for your grave? How many tears have you held back? How many pieces of yourself have you given away trying to keep people in your life who were never meant to stay? We carry others. We carry their opinions, their moods, their burdens, their silence. We carry their disapproval like chains around our hearts. Allah is not what you feel after the decision. It is what you carry through the decision. It is walking into uncertainty, with a heart anchored in certainty that your Lord will never abandon you, even when you feel unsure of yourself. Too many dreams are buried under the soil of hesitation. Too many prayers are whispered but never followed with action. Too many lives remain unchanged because people are waiting for a sign, for strength, for someone to come along and push them forward. But sometimes, the sign you're waiting for is the very discomfort that keeps you up at night. Sometimes your hesitation is the storm before your breakthrough. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, told us the strong believer is more beloved to Allah than the weak believer. While there is good in both strength, here is not about physical power. It is about spiritual courage. It is the believer who moves even when afraid, who acts even when uncertain, who keeps going, even when the path is not clear, because they know that Allah is in charge, not them. You don't need to have all the answers to take the first step. You don't need to be confident to begin. In fact, confidence is built in motion, not before it. You prove to yourself that you can do hard things by actually doing them, by showing up, by speaking up, by taking risks, for the sake of truth, for the sake of growth, for the sake of becoming the person Allah Almighty created you to be. So what is it that you are hesitating on? Is it that prayer you've been delaying, that toxic relationship, needs to end, that goal you've put off for years, that one thing that has been sitting in your heart heavy and unfinished, because you keep telling yourself, tomorrow I'll begin? But my dear brothers and sisters, tomorrow is not promised, and hesitation is not neutral. It is a thief. Every moment you wait, it steals clarity. It steals